Quick recording. Whenever you whenever you looking for a corrupt world leader, a corrupt politician, or just somebody who just evil motherfucker with their power and whatnot, this shit is real simple. Just look for afflicted sun, afflicted moon, and the ascendant if you have their birth time as well. Like we about to run through these world leaders. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you're gonna see major afflictions with the sun or the moon every time because sun represents royalty, moon represents royalty. It represents the monarch. You know what I'm saying? It represents the the king and the queen of the zodiac, basically, and whatnot, right? But let's get into it. So we got Netanyahu. You know what I'm saying? The prime minister of Israel. From the sidereal perspective, he has debilitated sun afflicted conjunct the moon. Moon is combust. You know that's an affliction to the moon as well, and he has it conjunct the south node as well. So this is a high level affliction of sun and his moon as well or whatnot, right? This is Grahan Dosh, being that both of them are conjunct K2. He was born on the nigga actually was born on an inauspicious day. He was born on a fucking solar eclipse and whatnot, right? And so why does this happen though? Like why does the sun and moon, why is it able to showcase, these corrupt types of figures? Sun is the king itself. Sun is the leader, sun is the governor, sun is the authority figure, sun is the prime minister, it's the president. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy who calls the shots, right? And when some son becomes afflicted, the ego becomes expanded to such a rate to where the individual believes, I am the law. I am the God. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to answer to anybody or take policy or rulership for anybody. What I say goes. What I say is the way. And it can lead to an over inflated sense of self-perception. It can lead to a stringent amount of egotistical display rather. And just like the sun and natural light, when it gets too hot, it starts to blaze and it starts to burn and it starts to scorch the lands and it starts to perform really malefically. Like, people with these afflicted suns can really display a cruel nature. You know what I'm saying? A cruel and a careless nature, which can cause many types of casualty and societal neglect and corruption and forms of underhanded politics, human trafficking, organ trafficking, all of the quote unquote satanic, you know what I'm saying, shit that afflicts society as a whole or whatnot, or has been afflicting society and whatnot, right? You know what I'm saying? The sun, these types of leaders, these types of people, these types of individuals can really, it's really one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, this shit even exists on Earth to this day. I'm not even just in this time period. Like throughout the various time periods, there's always been kings and there's always been monarchs who form like a political stronghold or who form alliances with each other or who have their own secret groupings and their own you know hidden classifications and whatnot, backdoor access and all that, right? And they pretty much gridlock themselves. They hold hands with each other and pretty much, lock down the earth and with these different laws and policies and these different things or whatever to maintain control over the people, to keep the poor poor and to keep the rich rich and whatnot. If you understand what I'm saying, so this has been practiced since ancient times. You feel me? Some kings at least have been extremely arrogant and fucking niggas bitches and sending the niggas to war to die so you can fuck his bitch while, she at war and levying taxes on the people and, you know, capturing neighboring kingdoms and putting the children through slavery and, you know what I'm saying? Just multi-level cruel practices or whatnot just because an individual feels like I am the king, I am the god, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want to fucking do, right? The sun is really a major part for this. And when the moon becomes afflicted, this further stuns one's ability to emotionally empathize with the quote unquote subjects of the kingdom or the citizens of the country or whatever you want to call them, right? It stunts the individual's ability to really see these people as human beings, life forms with heartbeats, and people who are deserving of protection and nourishment and all of this extra shit, right? It The moon becomes afflicted. It afflicts the ability to also be liked or to also be cherished or seen as a father figure, a mother figure, a presidential figure, or whatever, by the people or whatnot, right? So, you know, uh, that can further lead to the corruption and to the spoiling of their leadership as well. But getting back to the examples, right? So that was Netanyahu. The next example is who is this? This is Adolf Hitler. So I'm gonna skip his chart because it's a lot of conspiracy and a lot of controversy behind Hitler's true intentions. Supposedly Hitler didn't even want war. War was forced upon him. I have to do a bit more research upon this topic. I'm not necessarily the most familiar with the information, but for what I've grasped to a low degree, Hitler was actually just trying to improve the financial system of Germany and break away from the money king institutions of you know England and the Jewish powers and whatnot, right? Hitler, I think he was trying to do something similar to Abraham Lincoln with the greenback or whatever. I think get the German dollar on the gold standard, something like that. But at one point in time, Germany was a prosperous country. You know what I'm saying? Very prosperous. You feel me? I think Germany was rising to have a GDP, that was higher than even Britain's at one point in time or whatever. If I'm correct, I'm probably not correct. You know what I'm saying? But either way, Hitler didn't want war originally and initially. He tried to evade and you know what I'm saying, to make peace, to not really take it to there multiple times. But it was the money powers of England who repetitively force the war upon Germany in order to get them reinstated and back into control under the money powers of England or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? So I don't necessarily know if Hitler was a bad guy. Hitler was able to see that the Jews were big corrupt power players. If you want to call them the Illuminati, whatever the fuck, right? He was able to see that the Jews were. I probably shouldn't even be saying the J word on YouTube. I'm tripping, but he was able to see the small hats, right? Were very much so underhanded guys, very much so usurers. You know what I'm saying? Very, very much so into the arts of deception and all of these different dark practices or whatever you want to call them. And he was just trying to steer away from that. So I'm gonna not touch on Hitler shit within this video. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go on to the next nigga. Oh, that's Hitler chart again. So shit, we got Epstein. Epstein from a sidereal perspective. Epstein is not a president. He's not a king. He's not a prime minister or, anything like that. But, he does have, uh, reputation and rank among, these, figures or these guys or whatever you want to call them or whatnot, right? The whole Epstein Island organization, you know what I'm saying? Jeffrey Epstein, he does have a level of authority, uh, or he did have a level of authority, you know what I'm saying, within his position to be connected to these world leaders and these different political figures and these different celebrities and whatnot, and to be trafficking these kids and doing all this demonic shit. But getting to his chart, right? What shows that would make him, steer down such a direction? Well, he has Sun in North Node in Capricorn. So that's a serious affliction of the Sun. Sun is in the sign of Saturn. You know what I'm saying? Sun is in the sign of Saturn. Sun is being squared by Saturn. Two afflictions. and sun is with the North Node Grahan Dosh, which is the third affliction. So this is a serious affliction of the sun. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah, that's that. We just got Donald Trump. So Donald Trump also has a sun in the North Node conjunction on the cusp of Gemini and Taurus, and Trump has Moon in South Node conjunct on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius or whatnot, right? So Trump was born on an inauspicious day as well. That's kind of funny. Netanyahu was born on a solar eclipse. Trump was born on a lunar eclipse, right? And so his moon and his sun are afflicted, right? His moon, sun, and his ascendant lord are afflicted. He's a Leo ascendant. The sun is the lord of the ascendant and is situated with Rahu, right? And Moon is afflicted as well, situated with Ketu. So, this is one of the reasons this guy can say things like, grab her by the pussy or, make certain comments about his daughter, how he would be fucking his daughter if she wasn't, his daughter and whatnot. This is the reason behind why, the Supreme Court struck down his tariffs and whatnot, said that the tariffs, I guess, were unconstitutional or some shit like that. And Trump, being the egotistical player that he is, you feel me? He pretty much is like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna up the tariffs from 10% worldwide to 15%. Like, this guy is even going against the law and the institution of the Supreme Court, and that's what happens when these afflictions take place with the sun, especially, right? Especially being that the sun is inflated by Rahu, you don't care. The level of corruption, it just gets expanded. Like, you really don't give a fuck, man. It's insane. But it shows through the astrology, though. So going on to the next personality. Uh, let's see, Pablo Escobar. Let's do Pablo Escobar. So Pablo Escobar, I think this is his actual ascended time. So, you know, it's not the sun that's too afflicted. The sun is in the 10th house. It's in Scorpio. It is with Chiron, but it's with Mercury as well. That's not necessarily a serious affliction, unless you want to count Chiron as actual, astrological influence. But the affliction is coming from Moon being conjunct Rahu, right? Moon is on the cusp of Aries and Pisces, and Rahu was in Pisces as well. So, Pablo Escobar, a real demonic, cartel personality or whatever you want to call it. And the zodiac signs, pay attention to them as well. The zodiac signs of Leo and Cancer. So Pablo has Mars and Saturn conjunction in Leo. That is a serious affliction. That's an extreme affliction, you know what I'm saying, as well. So it would make sense why the guy was as egotistical as he was, you know what I'm saying, as definitely, demonic or whatnot as he was and all that. So goddamn, we got Ronald Reagan. Young nigga move that dope. And here we got Reagan. He doesn't necessarily have an afflicted sun, but he has the seriously afflicted moon. Moon is situated with the North Node and a debilitated Saturn. So this is an extremely afflicted moon. You know what I'm saying? Ronald Reagan, he an older nigga. Like, the nigga was president before I was alive, so I don't really know how the fuck the nigga administration was. Like, he either have done a deep level of research to goddamn point that out. Maybe I should, right? But anyway, Ronald Reagan, he didn't necessarily come off as the most egotistical of players, but he is repeatedly, accused of, being the reason why, the streets got flooded with crack cocaine and all these different, severe level narcotics that crippled the population, especially the minds of black people. Excuse me, the minds of black people, the bodies of black people, the success and the performance ability of black people within the Americas or whatnot, right? With the crack epidemic, right? And it's like, for his moon to be conjunct this Rahu and this Saturn, to be so afflicted. You know what I'm saying? It gives demonic nature. It gives a demonic appeal. It gives a careless appeal. It gives a lack of emotional aptitude, a lack of emotional, you know what I'm saying, empathy. Like you just don't give a fuck. People become like roaches. People become like bed bugs or whatever the fuck you want to call them, right? And you don't care about eradicating them. You don't care about doing what you had to do in order to, you know, be supreme. Warren G. Harding said to be one of the worst presidential rulers. This nigga was a demon, definitely. Just looking at his chart off top. He was a nasty. This is a nasty Negro. Warren G. Harding. He is known as one of the most popular presidents in history, but the subsequent exposure of scandals that took place under his administration, such as Teapot Dome, eroded his popular regard, as did revelations of an affair by Nan Britton, one of his mistresses. In historical rankings of the U.S. presidents, Harding is often rated amongst the worst. So he started to be amongst the worst of presidents. It's a whole bunch of information that's miscellaneous. I mean, he cheating. Niggas cheat. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Some niggas cheat. Not black men, though. And especially not me. Like, that's crazy. But so cheating ain't necessarily too crazy, but he is a nasty nigga. Just off of looking at what he got posited in his birth chart off top. That Venus and North Node is at a real nasty angle. So he had a lot of Diddy in him too. A lot of Diddy in ways was in this one guy. But Sun is afflicted. Sun is debilitated. It's with Saturn and it's with Mars and it's with Mercury. Mars kind of helps a little bit, but Mars is in the wrong sign. Saturn is conjunct the Sun, further afflicting it, and the Sun is debilitated, which is another affliction, right? So, who's to say exactly what exactly was the extent of this guy's corruption? And not only that, he was actually born either a day or a couple days after the lunar eclipse. So this is another eclipse president, you know what I'm saying? Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew was on the Epstein files. Let's see. Okay, so Prince Andrew, he had Sun conjunct Chiron in the 8th house. And second lord is in the 8th house. It's directly opposite from itself. Second lord is in the 8th. So that's one affliction. It's in the sign of Saturn. That's another affliction. Sun being in the sign of his enemy. And the moon is debilitated. The ascended lord is debilitated. Ascended lord is the moon and is debilitated. So that's another affliction. So, you know what I'm saying? And no wonder you was on the Epstein files, nigga. So who is this? Mother Teresa? Yeah, supposedly Mother Teresa is not the mother that we that niggas think her to be. Supposedly Mother Teresa is responsible for the trafficking of orphans and babies. You know what I'm saying? At some monasteries that she had open under her name or something like that, right? Mother Teresa supposedly is a very dirty bitch, very evil bitch, Epstein Island type of bitch. So let's go to the sidereal expression. This is still our chart. So Moon, North Node, Saturn retrograde, debilitated, conjunct the Moon and conjunct the North Node. So this is a very afflicted Moon. This is a severely afflicted Moon. This is the same combination Ronald Reagan has. He just doesn't have a retrograde Saturn. So yeah, this is a nasty bitch for sure. Like, it's reportedly, she, organ, human sex trafficker, supposedly was into all that. And, you know, uh, it would make sense though. But that's all I got for right now, Velocity Morning. Just wanted to do a quick or not so quick video on corruption of leaders. Even the ones that might not even seem so corrupt, like Mother Teresa, people would think that was just some beautiful godly lady, right? The corruption of leaders and how to astrologically spot that. Just to do one more, right? Gandhi. Gandhi birth chart. So they not gonna give me the wheel. Okay, we can do. I ain't want to do the Vedic because I know niggas can't read Vedic like that. Uh, so Gandhi. Oh shit. Now Gandhi is said to have turned a leaf later in his life, but he does have a moon and our North Node conjunction, which afflicts the luminary in that particular way. But the sun is not really, or the sun is in the 12th house, so the sun is afflicted by Mara Karakastana, and Gandhi was said to be a severe racist. You know what I'm saying? He was said to be a homoerotic philanderer of the deepest, of the worst. Let me chill out. Let me start talking on the dead people name or whatnot. But Gandhi was just said to be you know, um, shit. He had a bit of Diddy in him. You know what I'm saying, for lack of better expression, right? I don't know if he's ever taken his corruption beyond that. I did hear he was an abusive guy as well. He was abusive, uh, neglectful of his wife. I did hear he was perverted to a degree as well. Um, when it comes to the kids and all that, I don't know if he's ever done anything on some like some Epstein shit or something like that. I would hope not, but just wanted to show like you could really see the not even just world leaders or politicians and all this other shit. Like anybody, like if you want to look for a severe level of corruption in the personality, just look at the affliction of sun, moon, and ascendant as well. Like look for a severe affliction. Well,